Well, hello, we're back. Hello, hello. So excited to be here. And welcome to She's in Charge of Business, the podcast for women that know they're ready for more. I'm Becky LaFave, your host and the founder of She's in Charge of Business. And together we will unlock your confidence, clarity, what you're really striving to do in life. Own your own shit and take action as a coach. So here I am again this week. I'm excited to bring you a guest. Let me bring her up before I give kudos to her. Hello, Haley.
Hello, hello.
Welcome to She's in Charge of Business. We're excited to have you here today.
I'm so happy to be here and honored to be here. Thank you.
Thank you. So this is Haley Thomas. Thomas? Is it Thomas?
Thomas, yep.
Thomas. So I say this every time, ladies, don't I? I am the worst at last names, but we learn and we move on. So she is a dynamic business strategist, podcast host, which I'm excited to hear more about your podcast, and founder of the Passion Pursuit and Company dedicated to empowering multi-passionate, creative, and building businesses that align with their deepest passions. Today, I don't know what it is. Internet and my words are not my best friend today. It's like I have such high energy. I don't know what's going on that we're messing with our computer today. It's that energetics I got. You ever feel that energetic?
Between like the eclipse last week and Mercury's and retrograde, I mean, there's so many things, right? But yeah, I definitely feel that sometimes the energy is like vibrating in it and comes
Yeah.
through.
High vibing over here, peeps. So, through her podcast and personalized mentorship, she empowers equips entrepreneurs. I never can say that right. You're a solo entrepreneur
Yes.
with what they need to create purpose-driven ventures rooted in joy, which we all love because we are all about the fun up in here, and a holistic well-being. So, yes, that is what she is creating. But today we are all talking about self-confidence as a new business owner. And it's funny because we were just talking about this before we got on, like everybody starts somewhere, right? And, knowing that you've been in this almost a decade, I've been in it for 3 decades, and we just both said we're constantly learning and up leveling, and you feel like you're just new getting started. And I believe if we take that mindset, we can really grow further in life because whoever wants to just get to which it was me for the longest time, just get to the destination and not enjoy that damn journey that we all want in life. We want the journey, but we want the destination to some of it as well. So let's face it, ladies. So welcome, welcome. I'm excited to talk about this confidence thing because so many women, not as much as I find in men. I mean, there is men, but we speak to women. I find that women are always saying, Becky, I need more confidence. And I really think this is such an issue, which I don't really believe it's an issue that we have. I think it's deeper. And so I love that we're going to talk about this today. So let's dive in. Overcoming the limiting beliefs that hold us back from taking action. What does that look like for a new business owner just beginning? What have they got to overcome? What is it that's going on?
It's crazy because I always say that we as creatives and we as business owners have so many obstacles as well to navigate. And then we become one of them. Our own inner thoughts become the thing that typically is the reason why we're stopped most often. And things like imposter syndrome, not feeling enough, not knowing enough, that comparison game that comes in as well, or even just as simple as self doubt, especially in those
Mhm.
beginning stages. And when you are starting something new, there's a massive fear of the unknown. And I think that alone stops someone before that they even get started in this world. And as you said right in the beginning, it's like we have to know that everyone has a start. Every single person has a start. And we, even now in this game for a long time, know that you don't just arrive. There's always going to be that next stage, that next level that you're going to want to reach. And that's the exciting part. But at the same time, recognizing that how can we work with the fear rather than it keeping us stagnant in where we are, because we're always going to be evolving as we go. But I feel like that fear
Absolutely.
of the unknown is the biggest one.
Yeah, I think so too. And, as we talked about, we're high achievers, and high achievers never are settling just where we're at. Now, I like to sit in a moment or two for a while and go, okay, what's next? What's the next thing? And, just saying that brought up something for me. A couple weeks ago, I went to this big conference, and it was all about speaking on stage. And that is the next adventure that I'm on, right? To really speak on stage. And I've spoken on panelists and things like this, but I want to be the main speaker, right? And it scares the shit out of me. Like, everybody says, get out of here, Becky. Like, you can talk for days, and I can. But if it's not just your set of eyeballs, I'm good. If it's all these other eyeballs, I'm like, holy shit. And there was 300 women there, and I was called up to just improv type of thing. And my stomach was in these turns. Now, ladies, being in business for 33 years, I know my shit. But when you get pulled up like that, we all go through something. So, oh my God, somebody that looks at me and goes, oh, Becky has so much confidence. Girl, no, I didn't in that moment. Right? Like, I just didn't in that moment. And you know where I went, Haley? I went back to sixth grade.
Mm.
Like, my whole being went back to sixth grade, and it was saying to me, I just want to fit in. I just want to feel like I belong. Right? So it was a crazy moment. It was such a gift that I heard and saw myself go there, because now I can tell, like, what is really holding me back. I went to I grew up in a Catholic school, and I went to a public school in sixth grade because my parents were getting divorced. So a whole new world twist, right? And so this is what I find a lot of people go through. And so it's like, okay, they go back and they're not allowing this to come up to the surface. Like, I got triggered. Why am I being triggered? Okay, let me open up and see what's going on, right? And see this. And so it gave me so much power, because now I know where this is coming from, and now I can step forward. So, ladies, if you're listening to this and you're like, yes, I'm a brand new in business, or you're seasoned, no matter what your next level is, you're going to always ask about, oh my God, am I confident enough for that? I guarantee you're not, but you will,
Mm. I
right?
would love to speak on this too, because I had led a workshop about a year ago around this and these beliefs that come up, or what is that voice that's within that is telling you? And what are they saying, like that you can't do this, and why? And that inner critic that we all know and loathe, but it does
Mhm.
exist in every single one of us, especially as creative women. And as I'm leading this workshop, there was a woman who shared what was going through her mind, and this voice was telling her that she was not enough, that she
Mm,
didn't know enough, that she needed to be smaller. She was too bold. She was too loud. And I stopped her and I said, is this you? Is this your voice? Or is this something that you've heard in the past? And so it's interesting because you said you were brought back to that moment as a younger girl. And oftentimes we take these moments of something someone has said and we claim that as our own and say, well, no, that's me. And it's like, no, that was never yours to carry. That was never your voice at all. Because you, if I were to say, would you speak to that way to yourself? You'd be like, absolutely not. Of course not.
right.
Like, you wouldn't ever talk like that to a friend. And so it was so wild to see like a lot of these doubts that come through in those moments where, of course, fear is present. And of course, like, we have to acknowledge that anything new is going to be scary. So, of course, that's going to be present. But when that critic comes in, is that your voice, or is that something that you claimed that is no longer yours? And knowing that and acknowledging that, like you said, you're able to release it and
Mhm.
move through it rather than it keeping you stuck.
Yeah, it was such a beautiful moment, because I got to thank her because she kept me safe.
Mm,
She was on my side, but I no longer need her, right? And that was such
mm,
a beautiful moment that I got to have with me, me, myself, and I in the moment. And that's why I really encourage other women to do too. Acknowledge, things that are coming up. I find that and you might have too, like, a lot of women will, like, stuff it. Oh no, I don't have any fear, or I'm not this, or I'm not that. And they try to stuff it down and try to fake it out of it, right? Fake it till you make it type of thing. And I'm just like, why? We deserve to have real feelings. We're human beings on this planet. That's what it's about, right?
Absolutely. And I will tell you, this last year has been time and time again of stepping out of my comfort zone. And I absolutely do not claim to always feel good in the process. Like, I have been scared probably more than I've ever been scared in my life in the last year, but I'm learning how to work with it. So it
Yeah,
has not stopped me. I'm learning to acknowledge it, but I absolutely do not claim that, oh no, I'm good. Everything's fine. It's like, no, I am feeling all the feelings. It is a roller coaster over here and we are navigating a lot, but I welcome that because that's a beautiful part, like you said, about being human. And so it's, can we work with it though? Again, instead of allowing it to keep us stagnant or keep us from doing the things that we deep down feel called to do.
exactly. I love this conversation, ladies, that we're having. If you are loving it, let us know if you're feeling all the feelings too about it, because this is the important piece. You have to acknowledge where you're at before you can move through it, or move through it try gracefully as you can. I talk about this one time. I don't know if I've ever talked about it on the podcast though, but one time, this was years and years ago, probably in my early 30s. I joined a BNI group for my business. And a BNI group, have you heard of BNI?
I have not actually.
It's called the Business Network something incorporation or something like that. And it's just a room that you get in with all these other business people, and you pay to be in it. And it's all about a referral system. So it's like, how can I help you refer you? And everybody's helping each other grow, which is phenomenal if you like that kind of stuff. But there's a point in there where you have to give your 2-minute spiel of who you are and what you do. You know, ladies, our mission statement, more or less, of who in the hell we are. And then you, once a month or so, you will be chosen, depending on where you're at in this, a 10-minute spiel. Well, one-on-one, I'm good all day long, but there was literally 40 people in the room. And I'm not even kidding you. I know what I'm doing and what I'm good at, but at the same time, my body took over.
Mhm.
And for a week before, it was like the best diet I ever had, because I had the shits for days. It was terrible. And I'm talking, you wouldn't even recognize who I am today if I wouldn't have went through that experience, because it
Mhm.
was an experience that propelled me to be the woman I am today, that does have a podcast, that does, does all the things in her business. If we don't have these experience, Haley, we cannot get to the next part of our growth,
Mm.
right? And I so grateful I did that, because I kid you not, I had a little devil. Like, I went to the bathroom. I'm in this place thinking, I can just jam out. I can get the hell out of here. Who gives a shit? What am I doing here? I'm already successful. I don't need it. Like, I had all these, and ladies, I know you're having these talks inside your head, because Haley just said a lot of them that we're going through, right? I literally felt like I had the angel sitting on my shoulder and the devil sitting on my shoulder, and I could literally see them in the mirror. I'm in the bathroom having this threesome conversation going on. It was like crazy. I felt like I was going crazy. And I thought, oh my God, Becky, pull your shit together. Like, this is the angel, like, girl, you got this. Like, what is your problem? Like, you wanted to do this. You wanted to prove yourself that you could do this. So get out there and do that. And then the other one's like, girl, you don't have to prove shit. Get out of here. Like, let's go. We don't have to do this. I mean, it was a crazy conversation. And I know a lot of women are having that today in their own head. And that was just one I had about 20 years ago. And I'll never forget it, because I said to myself, pull your shit together, go do it scared. It doesn't matter what it looks like. When you're done, you're going to be so proud of yourself.
Mm.
And those are the moments that create what you have today. And I know for sure of where you've had those moments, probably just in different ways, but we've all had them. So, that question is like, our next question is, how are you going to feel empowered to the earliest stages in the midst of this pivot that you're going through, right? What would you
Mhm.
say for that?
I think it's that reminder for yourself of looking back at your past of what has brought you to this point. Especially when you're starting something new, it's easy to be like, well, I have no experience. I'm just beginning. And I call bullshit on that, because you have what's led you to be the woman that you are today, the life you've lived, other jobs you've had, careers you've had, things, lessons you've learned, leadership opportunities. Like there's so much in your past that can absolutely be a part of where you're going and propel you in that way. And so I always like to say, look at your skills, look at your strengths. What are those things that you love to do that you're passionate about? What do people come to you for advice on? What are those areas that you could just riff on and talk about nonstop? And looking at your timeline, starting to see, ooh, like there's an accolade there, or even back in high school. I mean, you can go way back, starting to look at where were you showing up in a way that absolutely correlates with the thing that you're wanting to create moving forward. And chances are you'll find a lot more reasons as to why you're the woman for the job than why you're not. Most likely, the reason why you're so passionate about starting this thing is because of your story and what you've navigated to get to this point. Like passion doesn't just like stem from nothing. Typically, it usually has a rooted cause into who you are and what you've experienced. And so we just have to get a little bit curious and take a moment to find that evidence. And I always say, when you are starting something new, find the evidence. Look for evidence of where you've succeeded in the past. And even if it's a different scenario, chances are it may be in a very similar format. And so finding that evidence that will help to show you why you are indeed the woman for the job. And you realize in that process that you are equipped with more than you even were giving yourself credit for.
Yeah, amen. Because, I think we're so close to our greatness, we can't always see it. And so we do have to rely on sometimes asking others, what do you see that I'm not seeing? A lot of times it was my husband that would say, babe, you are already that girl. Like, show the
Mhm.
fuck up. Right? And I'm like, "I am. So why am I not showing up like her all the time?" He goes, "There's something underneath that. Get to the damn root of that because you are exactly who you're meant to be and you're supposed to shine. So get out there and do it." And so find that human. Maybe it's your mom, your sister, your girlfriend, a coach. Find somebody that can find that because sometimes you're so close to it, you don't even recognize your own gifts. And
That's
that really is true
the
because like you said, it's it usually is coming from a younger person. Like you are already born that person and you've grown into and you've navigated through something that is uniquely who you are because we're all on this planet doing our unique best and of who we already are. So I love that. I'm so grateful that you shared it in that way because it's so true.
And the things that are natural to you aren't necessarily natural to everyone. But like you said, we're so close to it that we don't even see our superpowers, our strengths as indeed strengths. And I had a huge epiphany moment even with my mom. I took that strength finders test. I'm not sure if you've taken that in the past. I love the personality test because I feel like any bit of information that you can
Right.
gather or build that like awareness within yourself is so valuable. And so I took this test and one of my strengths was positivity. And I will tell you, when I first got that, I was like, this is stupid. Like, that's a cheesy one. Like, people are getting these cool ones like determination and like adaptability. And I'm over here with positivity. Like, what am I going to do with that? And then my mom was like, Haley, you don't realize that your ability to always find the good in the situations and in the people around you is going to serve you tremendously. It already has. But I didn't see that because I just assumed everybody was that way. Everyone's seeing the good until she stopped me and pointed out how I can use that, how I can lean into it and really step into using that as a strength. And so it was a very eye-opening moment to recognize of like, oh, okay, not everybody has these things that I have. Now, how can I use them to my advantage and to help create the things I want?
Yeah, because I'm sure, like you said, as a young person, you grew up always the positive person. Your girlfriends looked at you differently. They didn't have the skill set that you had, which was that, right? And it's so funny because it takes maybe a little test like that to really, or somebody to tap into you. And now that's your full power. You bring that full power with you and everything you do. Right. So how cool. I love that. I love that it was your mother too,
Yeah,
which is not always the case. So that's a beautiful thing that your mother gave you. I love that.
absolutely. Absolutely.
So moving on to how to step into your confidence. How do we navigate and really step into it when you are fully embodying I don't got it. Like I ain't got it today. I haven't found it yesterday. Like, what do you tell somebody that, and most high vibe women are not saying this, let's face it, but do we have those moments? Absolutely. So what do you say? How do you step into that?
Mm. You create it. You create confidence. Confidence does not just appear, it is within you, but sometimes it needs a little bit of digging. Like we have to realize what we have. And so it's kind of back to that same thing of one, owning your superpowers. But then what I always love to say too is that action breeds confidence. You showing up breeds confidence. You taking that first step, keeping the
Mm,
promise to yourself that you said you were going to start the thing, that you were going to do the thing. And the more you do that, the more confident you become, because then again, you're building back to that evidence. You're building that evidence that you are a find a way, make a way woman. And that if you cannot figure something out on your own, you have the resources. You can ask for help. You can Google something. Like we have so much at our disposal in today's world that we can access to get us from where we are to where we want to go. But being in that spot of being stuck and stagnant is not going to breed the confidence. And I'm not saying you have to know the full plan, right? I'm not saying you have to understand how all of it's going to work out or all of the steps on, this 10-step journey or whatever it is that you're going on, but you at least have to take that just one baby step in the right direction. And it's those little compound effects, those little steps that you take that will show you and help you to breed not only results, but also the confidence in yourself that you're able to. Like I will tell you, I feel like I started so many things before I was ready. And sometimes I had to act when I would have that tiny little flicker of courage. And sometimes it lasted a moment. And that is when you go. Because very shortly after
yeah.
that little flicker of courage, typically comes the massive self-doubt and all of the reasons why you shouldn't. And so if
Yeah.
you have those little moments that come, whether someone is breathing life into you and you're borrowing that belief for a hot second to get you going, like do it. Take the action in that flicker of courage rather than waiting until all the ducks in a row, until the perfect plan's in place to even start. Just get yourself out there, start, make a business name, create an Instagram account. Like it can be so simple as to just simply like put it out there into the world and then taking those bite-sized pieces. But we have to act. We cannot stay stagnant.
Yeah, it's so true. And I wrote it down, find a way, make a way, because that is so true. It is in that little bit, like you said, window of courage. It is a window opportunity of courage that says, holy shit, jump, And I always say, no matter what, the parachute always opens. We have two kids, and our 22-year-old right now, he's making a lot of decisions in life right now. And he always comes to me and, Mom, what if I'm not making the right decision? I said, son, every decision you make is the right decision
Mm,
right now. You can't make wrong decisions because you'll make the next one the right one. Whatever that decision is that didn't quite work out the way, you will make another decision. You have everything it takes. So we get so caught up in the decision making. What if I make the wrong decision? Well, making no decision is definitely the wrong decision.
yeah.
You just got to move forward and you figure it out. Like there's so many things that I have done in my business over the years that were some were great and some were like, well, that sucked, or that didn't quite work out as planned, or whatever it was. But you know what? It was exciting because I made it. Just like what you said, enjoy, rooted in joy. Find the fun in your business, find the joy in your life and your business. Make it a game. This whole thing of life is just a game. How you plan on playing it is your choice. You will either play the life game that you want or be ruled by somebody else, but that's a decision also. And so I'm constantly saying, have that little bit of courage. I love what you said. Find a way, make a way, because you deserve it, right? You deserve to have the life that you desire. And women like us are showing up and showing you how you can. And we're showcasing the way, right? We're not saying you got to be us, but we're saying, look, it took a little bit of courage for us to say yes and go do the damn thing. And now we're encouraging you to do it. And so thank you so much, Haley, for today. I'm sure there's been plenty of nuggets for these ladies to take away today and grow your self-confidence no matter which stage of business that you're in, because no matter what stage you're in, you're always going to be achieving the next level, and you're always going to have that little bit of ounce of courage to push through your confidence level to the next, because like they say, what is that? Every level is a new devil, you know?
Every time, there's always gonna be that fear that comes with you, but can you work through it to keep going?
That's right. So I know that you have a special gift for our audience today. Could you share what that is all about?
Yes, so I cannot actually remember what I shared with you.
It is, I believe it is some kind, well, if you don't remember, I looked at it really quick, but now I apologize. I don't remember either. But it is something about starting out with, I'm not sure. Anyway, we'll have the link on our, our page.
I'm so sorry. I'm like, "What did I send you?" Yes, but we'll get you kickstarted with some goodies, that's for sure.
That's right. She does have some goodies, ladies. So I did check it out and I thought, oh, this is so good. You're going to want to grab it. So I'll make sure you have the link to that. And you know what? Thank you once again for being here. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. I so appreciate it and the conversation today, and I'm very excited about, yeah, all of the nuggets that came through today, so thank you.
Thank you. All right, ladies, until next time, own it, embrace it, celebrate the shit out of it, because you, my friend, are taking charge.